Welcome, precious one, to this Leadership Advancement Mentorship Podcast that showcase the journey of great leaders, the price that they have paid, the price points of their leadership development, and also how mentorship has really affected and influenced their leadership development. And this is your host, Dr. Michael Koku. And I want you to know that it's been a while. It's been a while. I've been with you. I've been off traveling. I've been on the road. But today, I'm going to make it up for you because the guest I'm bringing to you is such a person I've heard so much about. I was on a mission trip called MTN, Mission to Nigeria. Actually, I went for my mom's burial, and to give my mom's the last respect. I decided to have a lot of leadership conferences. So I met some people in Africa's, West Africa largest city, Ibadan. They keep talking about this man. Do you know this? Do you know MOB? I was like, who is this person? I mean, everyone was just talking about him. I said, wait, listen. I said, I need to get to know him. I can't think of it. At that moment, he sent me a message and he connected, and I was really busy at that time. I said, okay, let me finish my mom's burial stuff. I'm going to get back to you. And I did. I tell you, you don't need to eat a whole cow to make good meat. This man bringing to you is so loaded. He has the same kindred spirit that I have. And I can't just wait to start this podcast. So welcome with me today, Mobolaji Bamidele. How are you, sir? How are you doing?
I'm fine, thank you, Dr. Koku. I mean, I'm so happy being on this program with you. I was in England when you were in Nigeria.
Okay.
And everybody, this couple just called me. MOB, there's someone you need to meet. There's someone you need to meet. It's just like you. And I'm like, okay, I can't wait to get back.
That was great. Like I said, there's something about like minds, it's so rare. And I tell people, he said you need to have the right friendship in your life. In those days, I used to hear about Ralph Waldo Emerson and George Bernard Shaw. When they meet each other, they ask themselves, what are you learning? What are you learning? So they challenge themselves about their growth. And what a great pair, and today's we hardly find such people, but I believe in having people that challenge me. Personally, I don't make friends based on sentiment. I like people that we add value to me, people that will challenge me, that will make what I'm doing looks like, wow, I mean, you're doing nothing at all, so I want people that will really, make me think bigger. Make me better, brighter, and really smarter, when I'm done with them. So tell us something about yourself. Who is Mobolaji Bamidele? Let's get to know you. Thank you.
Wow, thank you so much, Dr. Koku. My name is Mobolaji Oluwafemi Bamidele. They call me MOB. I work in the downstream and the midstream sector of the petroleum industry in Nigeria. And I've been in the industry for like 20 years. Then at the same time, I'm a member of the John Maxwell team because I believe in personal development. I believe one of the best things that ever happened to me was being on this growth journey because it has no finish line.
Yeah.
So I'm a member of the John Maxwell team. Then at the same time, I love to bring value to the table. I have a group, I have a tribe. It's called MOB Tribe, where we teach on Thursdays, like on this Thursday, we bring in a CEO. I love to bring great minds. And you said something while you were doing the introduction that you want to be in a room where your mind is stretched.
Yeah.
And that's one of the things I play with here. I play with the law of the rubber bands. Like anytime my mind is stretched, it does not go back to its original state. Dr. Koku, why my story is very interesting is the fact that I started out on a very, very low rung of the ladder. I had a serious complex problem, because I was married to a woman that was earning times 10 of my salary. So I had a serious complex problem. But today, the question everybody asks me is, MOB, what happened to you? How did you overcome that problem? Something must have happened to you. And I told them, the magic happened when I started the growth journey. That's why I'm an apostle of growth journey. You have to, like John keeps saying, I'm talking about John Maxwell now. He keeps saying that the greatest gap in the world is between what you know and what you're doing. So one of the key things I do, which summarizes my activities, Dr. Koku, is the fact that I help people to close the gap between what they know and what they are doing. And that summarizes what I do. So, and another thing about me, which I tell people unapologetically, is the fact that I'm a child of God. I'm a child of God. I actually graduated from Rema Bible Training Center, and it's been a journey that I don't want to recover from. And so that briefly summarizes who MOB is.
That's awesome. I'm going to tag today's focus on there's no finish line. I love that. And having been Maxwell, and being part of the tribe, I've learned so much from Dr. John Maxwell. I want to give God the glory that's bringing me under his mentorship. I first read his book when I was in medical school, and that was 25 years ago. That was my first contact with that book, Developing the Leaders Within You and Around You. The book really changed my life, and I saw how bad a leader I was, and I saw and that was the bad news. The good news is I can do something about it. Now you know where you are, the positional leader. I know what it takes to get up the ladder. So, and I begin to climb, begin to learn, begin to put, like you said, it's not all about what you know, it's what you do with what you know. I begin to put what I know into application. Now, so we're going to look at that. There's no finish line, because some people thought that, there's a finish line, or they have a fixed mindset, and instead of having a growth mindset, and when you have a fixed mindset, the question will be, how long is it going to take? How long is it going to take? But if you have a growth mindset, is how far can I go? And I believe this how far can I go mindset is what we all need. So how did you came up with there's no finish line? When did you get that mindset from there's no finish line? And how has that helped you in living your life that you have become a real model? I tell you, the way people talk about you, they talk about you with respect. I have a high school mate that knows you more, that I know more than 40 years, whatever he tells me, I believe, because I've known him for a long time, Pastor Dunamis, and the way he talk about you, I said, listen, I need to know you. I have high respect when you command respect. So tell us, how has there's no finish line has transformed you into the kind of leader you are now and the great leader you are becoming?
Thank you, Dr. Koku. I'm going to look at that question from 3 angles. Like I tell people on this leadership journey, you must be able to lead yourself. When you are able to lead yourself, you're able to lead other people. And when you're able to lead other people, then you are well positioned to lead organizations. Like I said, it started from the house. Dr. Koku, my marriage was under serious pressure when I got married because I had a serious complex problem. I was married to a woman earning more than I do. But let me tell you the importance of the law of association. I remember I have this friend. He's still my very good friend. He lives in England now too. He called me one day. He said, MOB, do you give your wife anything? And in my mind, she doesn't need it. She doesn't need it. And the guy sat me down. And no, that's not the way it's supposed to be. And started the journey from there. Then I saw this book, Maximum Achievement by Brent Tracy. That got me interested. Then I saw the 15 Invaluable Laws of Growth by John C. Maxwell. That happens to be my best out of Dr. Maxwell's books. It's a book I read 4 times every year. Every quarter, I have a study on 15 Invaluable Laws of Growth. And I just noticed that peace came into my home. Things started moving in my family. And by the time in 2018, when I went for the IMC, I said it was going to be our wedding anniversary. And I said to my wife, do you know what? Allow me to go for this program in the US. I believe I'm going to come back a better husband. And all of a sudden, I just realized that people started navigating towards me because it is your you that becomes your due. You must become first before you start doing. So when the process started for me, I started becoming, then I noticed that the kind of people that I wanted in my corner started coming. There's something I have in my note tonight. I said, leaders reproduce who they are, not what they do.
Yeah.
Most people are having problems today because they are fixated on doing, whereas the process should be on becoming. So it was when I started the becoming process that I started seeing a new me emerging. Today, Dr. Koku, I say the kind of things that puts couples under pressure. Like I said, it started by leading yourself, leading other people, and leading organizations or leading, today, I'm not threatened in any way. Today, I'm in a position to put my wife in a very good state. And today, it was her birthday yesterday. And I remember someone said to me that, MOB, I love the way you celebrate your wife. And I said to her, that the Bible said the two shall come together and become one.
Yeah.
That started making sense when I started our growth journey.
Yeah.
That you are not competing with each other. You are complementing each other.
Yeah.
She doesn't have to see things from my perspective. But what we just need to know is, in those our differences, we need to be able to see the big picture.
Yeah.
And I started having those big pictures. Dr. Koku, I'm sure you're not aware, I took a mind-blowing decision last week. I've been in the oil industry for the past 20 years now, and I opted for early retirement last Thursday to join my family. And a lot of people felt, MOB, why will you walk out at this time? So much money now. I said, no, there's something called family values.
Yeah.
And those are some of the things that you start playing with. What are your core values like? If my values are in place, it's very easy for me to make decisions.
Yeah.
And those are the things that started for me. I started, okay, now we have family goals, we have family visions, we have our core values, and we tell the children, this is what we stand for, and by the time we started that, we discovered that the family started seeing a big picture. We started coming in the same direction, and that helped me on my growth journey.
That's good.
And lo and behold, I started having people come to me, oh, MOB, we're getting married in so. We've been looking at your marriage from afar, it's working. And I'm like, this was a marriage that was under pressure years ago. Now it's obvious that the marriage is working.
Wow.
So the summary of that, Jesse, it is your you that becomes your due.
That's awesome. Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, and I like what you said. One of my mentors, Craig Groeschel, said, when your values are clear, your decisions become easy. When your values are clear, your decision becomes, and values is really something that is very important. Those are your non-negotiables. And without a value, a man will die in the valley. It's your value that takes you to the mountain top. Your values are very important. One of the books that I wrote, The 4 Keys for Effective Leadership, is strong values, not just values, strong values. Someone said, that's the book. To show it to them, go get it.
Great book.
Why? You see, there are many keys, but I just decided to focus on 4 keys. And I use the ESPN acronym. I just want something people can easily remember, because values really matters, and it is something that really I love, the value-based, the value-based servant leadership. I believe so much. A lot of people just believe that, I can do anything I like and go and teach. I was having a conversation with my brother-in-law where I said, listen, I live what I teach. You can't hold me to ransom on this. I'm not an hypocrite. I live what I teach. Many of my clients, they said the reason why they like me is I do what I say. I believe. There are 2 different kind of world. There's a DOC and there's a COD. I belong to the DOC. The DOC talks about deeds over creed. People that focus on doing before teaching. Then there's a different word said that's focused on COD, creed over deeds. they are just based on, just talk. They talk the talk, they don't walk the walk. I don't believe in that. I believe true leadership is modeled, is visual. You have to be an example of what you teach. If you are not an example of what you teach, get out of it. You have no business,
It's important.
Yeah, really. And the word leader, as I give it an acronym, a friend of mine came up with LEAD. He said, live every day above defeat. Live every day above defeat. And I came up with the ER. And I add ER to that lead to make it leader. So I said, live every day above defeat. I said, example required.
Wow.
So when you put that ER, so that means your example is required to live every day above defeat. I was in a meeting in my just completed mission to Nigeria. The first meeting that I had on Sunday, February 4th, in the hall. So it's a beautiful hall. The sound system was still on, the light was still off, and I started teaching. Because I have a back-to-back program. Instead of waiting, for the light, for everything to be right, I started teaching. Wow. And I told them, I came here to teach you the keys for effective leadership. And I was giving them an acronym for problems. Wow. And I make them to see problems differently. So I gave them the acronym for problems, and I showed them how to overcome problems. And while I was teaching, the light came. And they said, you weird. Yeah. Because I said, true leadership is known in time of crisis. So MOB, tell us, when did you become aware of this leadership? At what time in your life did you become aware of this leadership? John Maxwell wrote the book, Develop the Leader Within You. So you can develop what is not within. You can develop what you have not discovered. At what time did you discover that, wow, I have this leadership potential? I know you talk about upstream, downstream oil. That's not why you are here today. Yeah. I just want to tell you that, that's not why you are here. There's so many upstream, downstream, middle stream people. I don't have any business with all respect to them. It is because of your
Dr. Koku,
of your addiction for growth.
The first step of self-leadership is self-evaluation.
Yeah.
I realized that at the point I was not happy, my wife was not happy, my marriage was under pressure. I just knew there could be a way out. Then I started asking myself questions.
Yeah.
How come my marriage was not working? How come because I was coming from that school that it's the positional level of leadership, that is the position that makes you a leader. Then I told you the first book I read was Maximum Achievement by Brent Tracy.
Yeah.
The book got me hooked. Then by the time I got the 15 Invaluable Laws of Growth, and the first law there says is the law of intentionality.
Yeah.
That you must be intentional. So I went back to the drawing board. And that was about, let me say, I've been about 12 years ago. I would say I intentionally looked at myself that who can I become? This is what I can become. I started seeing the potentials in me. I can be this. The marriage can be heaven on earth. It's possible. And I started painting a big picture. I have a journal, it's on my table here. Every year, I use a fresh journal. Then I learned that principle then that, okay, every year, first of all, list your expectations, self-evaluation. What are you expecting in your marriage, in your spiritual life, in your finances, in parenting? I write as if I have the key to the CBN vault, the central bank, as if I have all the money I need. Then I noticed that the moment I started putting things down, I started becoming intentional with my growth journey. Initially, it started by having great intentions. Then I now realized that great intentions was not enough.
Yeah.
I must be intentional. And that was exactly what I saw in that book when he spoke about the law of intentionality, that you must be intentional with your growth process. And the first thing that happened to me was I needed to change my inner circle. I needed to start moving with the people traveling in the same direction without my expectation. So I locked up a picture on the inside that I can become it. my marriage can be heaven on earth. So the things happening within my space today, Dr. Koku, I'm not surprised because I painted the picture. I painted the picture.
Wow.
And I sent the picture to my wife yesterday on her birthday, and she said to me that, MOB, when you come to England again, we need to recreate this picture. One of the things we do is we try to look at what is possible. We look at the fact that how can we achieve it? The problem is, the issue is not whether it's possible or not. The thing for us is, how can we go about it?
That's good.
How can we be a model for other couples? How can our finances be this? How can the children be this? And we started living out those things. Like you said, a lot of people are not walking their talk. Let me give you a very funny example. I was invited to speak last year on midlife crisis. And I said to the organizers of the meeting that when it comes to midlife crisis, there's someone I know that is an authority on that. He's better than I do. I'm not one of those people that I read to come and dump on people. I don't do that. But this person, that's his terrain. And they were like, we don't know him, no problem. I'm going to do the connect. I'm going to connect. That was Dr. Enoch Drotoye, Pastor Enoch Drotoye. I connected them to the organizers of the meeting. And the man said to me, MOB, I've never seen a man like you. I said, because it does not make sense. That's the terrain. That's the terrain. I'm not just speaking for, I preach what I've lived. I preach what I'm living. I teach what I'm living. That it makes the message potent. That's why. So my journey started with self-awareness.
That's awesome.
That was the first step. First of all, and that's one of the things that.
But you said your journey started with self-awareness. Was it when you became an adult or as a youth that you discovered the leader within you? At what point? We want to be clear about it.
Let's start from this, that I had a distorted picture of leadership. Because at the point, I used to see my father 17 times in a year. There was nobody there to guide me. He's an engineer. He's always traveling around, and we're based in Ibadan then. So we just come around once in a while, then I see him. So I had no picture of who a true leader is. Then, by the time I got into high school, and I joined Interact Club. I mean, Interact Club, that is the lower version of the Rotaract Club. And they started talking on leadership, and in my mind, I was like, I don't have a title, so how do I become a leader? I need a title to become a leader. And that was the first thing that happened to my mind. And that's why I have a program that I teach today. I call it Mind Flossing with MOB. That there are strong goals in our mind. A lot of us grew up with wrong picture. A lot of us grew up with distorted pictures in our mind. And the first thing we need to do is to take out those pictures, because those pictures will later become a strong goal. So I had a lot of pictures to take out. Those are the pictures I grew up with. That I need a title to be a leader. I'm the man of the house. The man does not do this. The man does not do that. A lot of pictures I needed to, and that's why I titled that course Mind Flossing with MOB. This is the way you floss your teeth. Thank God you're in the medical field. The same way you floss your teeth is the same way you floss your mind. And you take some things off your mind for you to. And I love what you said about ESPN in your book, 4 Keys for Effective Leadership. Servant leadership. It's not doing that thing that makes me a leader. No. It's not the title that makes me a leader. It's not because I was given a position that makes me a leader. And I love the definition John Maxwell gave leadership, that leadership is all about influence. And one way or the other, you and I influence so many people around us on a daily basis. That young man that had a chat with me about marriage, that MOB, this is how it should be done. This is how it should be done. And it got me interested. Oh, really? And beautifully, I will say some things, Dr. Koku. I discover a lot of people read for reading's sake. That's why I tell people, you can be knowledgeable and not be wise.
That's
true. You cannot be wise and not be knowledgeable.
That's true.
So when I learned something new, you were talking to me this afternoon. You needed to see the way I was writing down voraciously. These were the things you said to me today. And let me tell you, you said every seed has a voice. You said that to me today. I wrote it down. You said any day I don't give is a bad day. Dr. Koku, I wrote it down. You said giving and receiving is a circle. I wrote it down. He said characters always help you do the right thing. I wrote it down. Every day I want to look for opportunity to learn and not just write them down. I want to live out those things. Now I know that I give, but now I want to make it a daily habit that every day, by the time I want to sleep in the evening, I want to be able to cast my mind back and say, oh, I've been a blessing to this person. I've been a blessing in this circle. I've been a blessing in this circle.
That's awesome.
I want to make it intentional. So I'm learning something. I must live it out. I must practice it. And that for me is how the whole thing started. Okay, learn this, try this. And Dr. Koku, I discovered that when I learned something, I'll try it with my wife. It started working like magic. Past 8 years, I buy my wife present on my birthday. There was a birthday. I got a present yesterday, but on my own birthday again, I'll still give her a present. Guess what? The quality of present she gives me just shut up. So I've been doing that. Not that I read it anyway. Someone told me, my friend said, you know, you can do this. And I was like, oh, really? Let me try it out. And I started trying it out.
Wow. That's
Once
awesome.
in a while, I don't wait for a birthday to celebrate her.
That's good.
Once in a while, I feel, oh, let me, you know, we had different orientation. And that's one of the things with couples. For me, I love to see the needle of my fuel gauge in full. But for her, let it calm down, then she takes it up. Initially, it was causing, as little as this example I just gave, it was causing a serious rift in our marriage. So I was talking to a friend, a coach, and he said, MOB, do you know how you can solve this problem? Anytime you see the fuel gauge down, take a car to the garage and fill it up. And that solves the problem.
Wow, that's awesome.
That solves the problem. So I want to live out those things. And the moment I started living out those things, I started trying them out. I started seeing traction in my home, in my finances. Okay, let me give you another funny example, Dr. Koku. In the MOB tribe, people believe I'd stay in the part of Nigeria where they believe people don't like spending. They don't want to spend on personal development. They don't want to do some things. But I said to myself, that is your belief. I think we can walk around this thing. And I said to the MOB tribe, for you being a member of this tribe, you know what we're going to do? That was 3 years ago. You're going to save $1,000 for being a member of the MOB tribe.
That's awesome.
So they revolted immediately. That dollar sign. A medical doctor sent me a MOB, I heard in Naira. How do you want me to save in dollars? I said, no, it is achievable. Okay, let's do it this way. It is very, very achievable. Let's do it this way. Let's use 570,000 Naira as an exchange rate. It's either you save $1,000 or you save 570,000 Naira. And guess what? One of them said to me, he had never in his life saved $1 million Naira, but that year he saved $1 million Naira.
Awesome.
The year he did 2 million. Last year he did 4 million. So jokingly, one of the templates we had for the savings challenge this year, we had a 10 million Naira template. And the guy said to me, MOB, I want to try the 10 million because in my wildest imagination, I never knew I could save $1 million Naira. And I did it for the first time that year. The following year, I did 2 million, which means his business started growing. And guess what? These guys can spend money on personal development.
That's awesome.
Quarter, we looked at the 15 invaluable laws of growth by John C. Maxwell. We do that every quarter. And one of the things I tell them, pick 2 laws from those laws and see how you can live out those laws during that quarter.
Wow. That's awesome.
Don't pick more than 2. Just pick 2.
That's
and
great.
intentional with the 2 laws. And for me, awesome. I will tell you my favorite. My favorite is the law of the rubber band.
Wow, that's
Anytime
awesome.
Anytime your mind stretches, it does not go back to its original state.
That's great. And I like what you're saying. I mean, there's so much to unpack from what you're saying. I'm just trying to behave myself to constrain the time. You know, we don't have all the time in our hands. There's so much to get from you. But I like what you're doing in your MOB tribe. And what I hear is I'm hearing something. I'm listening for something. Because one of the books I'm reading right now is called Build to Last. You know, and by Jim Collins and Jerry Porras.
Great book. Yeah, great book. Great book.
And one of the things that they said in this book, they were talking about some things are fixed, some things can be changed.
Yeah.
They're talking about things that are fixed, like values, core values and purposes are fixed.
Yeah.
They said operating practices and business strategies are varied. And what I'm hearing you, and I love it, and I love it so much, because one of the great calling of a leader is to call out the best out of people.
Yeah.
If a leader cannot challenge the people to be more, you know worthy of being a leader. And that's what leadership is. I'm privileged to create a leadership community, and serving with me are 20 key leaders all around the group. Yeah, these are strong leaders. Many of them are females because I have a bias towards female in leadership. Yeah, for real. And I'll tell you why. My mom just passed on now, and my dad died when I was 6 years old. So my mom was without my dad for 44 years, and she didn't remarry. And she led 5 boys to adult, and we all went to college. Many of my cousins, they didn't even know what college looks like, but we were all different. So, and the thing about leadership is, it's not a gender thing; it's an agenda thing. That's what I was asking you about. How did you become? Self-awareness is the first. And the second is, now you have to accept responsibility for change. Yeah. Now, I want to ask you this question. Like I said, I'm really much more aware of the time that we have to really make sure we get to the focus of, and there's no finish line about what we're talking about. With growth, I'm key about personal growth. I'm doing 7 books every day. And because I believe personal growth, according to John Maxwell, is the expansion of leadership.
Yeah.
So the thing is, what price have you paid to grow yourself? And what does that price look like? Just in 1 minute, 90 seconds.
Okay, yeah. I will tell you, within my circle, a lot of people believe in Ibadan today. I'm sure that was one of the things they told you, that I have one of the best library around.
Of course.
I intentionally said to myself, I need to spend money on personal development. I got into the John Maxwell team. I didn't stop I'm at the mentorship level. And I said to myself that I need to keep getting better and better every now and then. I wrote something. I said, remarkable leaders champion change. Remarkable leaders build relationships. Remarkable leaders develop others. Remarkable leaders influence with impact. And one of the price I've paid is I've given up on so many things, Dr. Koku. I remember when I took this decision to take early retirement to face what I'm doing squarely, because I work for federal government, I'm constrained in a way. I can't give full expression to some of the things I'm doing. But now that I'm out, I can live out those things.
Yeah.
There's this favorite quote I have. I don't know the author, but I need to reference because I saw it online. He said, if you don't sacrifice for your goals, your goals becomes the sacrifice.
Yeah.
That eats me so well that every day, and when you now talked for me again, when I met you and you said you do 7 books a day outside the Bible. So if you had them, you actually do 8.
Yeah.
You're not even doing 7, you're doing 8.
Yeah.
And I was challenged.
Yeah.
That you can do it.
Yes, you can. Yeah.
So what you did was to practice the law of rubber band on me.
Yeah.
Stretched my mind. And do you know the beauty of that? Any mind that is stretched does not go back to its original state.
Yeah.
So every day, the prize is, I want to wake up early. I see other people sleeping. I want to wake up early. I want to make sure I'm on point. And I want to make sure to be able to deliver every day.
That's good.
Not on some day, because there's something about consistency. I need to be consistent with bringing value to the table.
Yeah.
So I don't see the kind of money I spend on personal development is something I budget for every year.
Okay, yeah.
The beauty of it is that I overshoot that budget every now and then.
That's cool. So you talk about you spend time and you spend money and on your personal development. Then of course you spend your time on personal development.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, really. So time and money, because a lot of people, they don't know that it's expensive. Like I have built my library, spending thousands of dollars,
Oh, yeah.
and I have different libraries, at different times, and I built a library when I started my business, and I continue to build that library. And because somebody said ordinary people have big TVs, extraordinary people has big libraries. I want to be extraordinary. Yeah.
Let me tell you the one I heard, Dr. Koku, that blew my mind.
Yeah.
Someone wrote some years ago that any house in the US that is above $2 million.
Yeah, that's a library.
As a library in there. I said, wow.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. One time we were living, my wife and I, we were living in Southwest Philadelphia. So we have these Jews, they bought the building. And they came, they saw my library, the way they were looking at me with respect, because it's rare. Like I said, of course, our house is now up to 2 million. Like you said, they were surprised when they saw. This it's like a 1-bedroom apartment where we had the
library,
and I have a big library. They saw the books. They were really, the way they were looking at that, because that is a pointer that this person is someone going somewhere. And this is where we want to encourage people, because we're talking about there's no finish line to growth. You see, why did I start doing 7 books? Because I have a lot of books. And I realized if I didn't start, someone said, how do you do that? Okay, this is it. I spend 1 hour on one major book. Then the rest of the book, 10 minutes. It's 6 books. 10 times 6 is 1 hour.
Yeah.
So that's 2 hours for the books per day. If I have more time, I can increase it. Like I said, the Bible time is 1 hour. That's separate. I do 6 chapters apart from Proverb and Psalm, and then our daily bread.
You do Proverbs every day.
Yeah. What today's 13th now. I've read Proverbs 13. You understand what I'm saying? And I reflect it, because these are what great people do. But the thing I want to say, MOB, is because of our time that is really going up. Tell us what has been the effect of mentorship on your life, and who are the people that you look up to as a mentor? Quickly, in 2 minutes.
With that, there's a way there's a member of the John Maxwell team, BCI way. He said, if you don't have a mentor and you don't have a coach, you become a cockroach.
I know BC is so funny.
Yes. Funnily, having mentors, I have different mentors in different areas of my life. They've helped me to cover lost grounds. They've helped me to cover lost grounds. I remember my financial coach said to me a long time ago that, MOB, for you to break this line, these are the things you need to do. Your mentor, having a mentor will save you the stress of going through some mistakes.
Yeah.
Because they've made those mistakes already.
Yes.
So they realign you. They point you in the right direction. Most of my project, I remember when I was going to take the decision to exit, I had to run it. I sat down with my mentor. What do we need to do in this area? And that's why I love being in mentorship in the John Maxwell team. You have access to these great minds.
Yeah.
I remember the first time I met Paul Martinelli. Oh my God. Do you know what I asked myself? Is it normal like me? And I remember the first time Paul Martinelli sent me a private message. And when I went for IMC in 2018, I could not recover from that experience. But I planned coming for IMC in March. August in the John Maxwell team. So every day I listen to Dr. John C. Maxwell. Yeah. Every day. Every day I want to see the book of Proverbs. Then I have someone mentoring me financially. He's a billionaire. And I remember when we started the journey, Dr. Koku, most of the things the man was saying to me, they weren't making sense. Yeah. But it was as if he was talking above my mind until my mind started catching up with them. Yeah. What's the correlation between being wealthy and laying in your bed every morning?
Yeah. It's a mindset.
It's a mindset, yes. Yeah. What's the correlation between documenting all your expenses I mean, and these are things that they are standing me out today.
Yeah. It's a mindset.
It's a mindset. I remember one of the things we do again, I have an accountability partner. My accountability partner lives in Canada. What we do at the end of every year, I need to send my program for the year to him. These are the things I want to do in the first quarter, second quarter, third quarter. So what he does is just to check on me, movie. By now, you ought to have done this. How far? By now, you ought to have done this. How far? Accountability partner. And that with my mentors, you travel very fast.
Yeah, that's awesome. Wow. It's been a great time with you. I tell you, we're gonna bring you back. We're gonna bring you back, and because there's so much to unpack from you. So tell us, how can people really link up with you? And they are hearing you right now. They say, "Wow, this is a great mind." And would like to really link up with you. So where can they find you? How can they connect with you? I know where to grab you. Yeah.
I have a page on Instagram, MOB Doses. MOB Doses, that's DOSES. Okay. Then on LinkedIn, Mobolaji Oluwafemi Bamidele. Then on Facebook, still my name too. And one of the things I do every day, I send out what is called daily doses. And currently we're working, because I told you, I was constrained to do some things before, but now that I'm out of that role, we're working on the site where, people can subscribe to my newsletter. We're working on that. That should be coming up at any time soon. But currently, I have a page on Instagram, I have a page on LinkedIn, I have a page on Facebook where we're doing what we're doing. Then I have a tribe where I teach every Thursday. Every Thursday, 2 hours every Thursday, I'm teaching in the tribe, and we bring great minds into the tribe to connect with us.
That's awesome.
Wow. Thank you so much.
I want to say thank you, MOB. It's been a great time learning. You see, one thing about great leaders is you can't take everything at once. You have to give direction, because they can go north, east, west, or south. I'm like that when I'm in a podcast. I say, which direction do you want to go? Because I can't go anywhere. I have to be it myself. I want to say it's been a great time. And I want to tell you something. There's so much that you've shared with our leadership community. And I want you to know that someone is hearing all these things, is taking notes, and someone's life is going to be better because of what you just learned. And I want to say to you, viewers, don't just listen. Take time to apply what you just had, because it's application that leads to transformation. Till I come your way next time with another great leader, don't forget, this is Leadership Advancement Mentorship Podcast with your host, Dr. Michael Koku, reminding you that in all you do, apply, because that is the key to multiply. Thank you.